Let's start the show.
Welcome back to Lead Stories 1-year anniversary show. Now, I did say before the previous break that I'd be asking about enumeration and what Dr. Campbell said about winning, but that's in the public domain already. I can't use the time to ask a soft question when there are two strong men here. So here's the question, Dr. Campbell. We all know that campaign this, campaign that is going to come down in large part to who the voter wants as their prime minister. Why is your leader the better one?
He's the only one that's certified. But on a serious note, if we were thinking of voting just based on who the leader is, and you were to examine both of them, Mark Golding has the intellectual acumen. He does have the experience. He does have the legal background, which makes him one of the best legislators in the parliament. His business background gives him the understanding of the economic management. He has the love and the social upbringing that can resonate in South St. Andrew, where the people love him. He has the history, the strong family history of catering to members of the disabled community based on his father's history in Mona Rehab. And he has done what many thought was not possible in bringing together the PNP to be united and strong and in a position to compete and win the elections. And I do believe that the integrity point is an important point as well. If 10 years ago we were talking about somebody not being certified and taking the Integrity Commission to court, all of us would think that's the end of that person's career. So what we have is a prime minister that is unable to be certified, whereas we have the opposition leader who is certified every year. And that is significant in the minds of persons out there because corruption does rob the country of several opportunities. And so I believe I don't agree fully with your statement that people only vote based on who the prime minister is, because based on polling data that we have, 70% of persons vote based on the party. And that's why if you put a candidate in place the day of nomination, they will still poll a certain number of votes. About 20% vote based on who the leader of the parties, and the next 10% vote based on who the candidate. So the persons from Eastern St. Andrew will be able to give Auntie Flavel an A for absent for today. So she won't get any of the 10% that they would give to the candidate.
All right, I hear you on that. Dr. Chang, the Prime Minister, why in a straight shootout should the voters go with Andrew Michael rather than Mark Jefferson Golding?
Indeed. I have a sort of comment from my friend about what happens on after that you can nominate the nomination later. That's interesting, after your first answer. Anyway, I think there are a number of things the Jamaican voter looks for. First thing that they look for leadership. It's something that is not very often discussed in our political arena, but the voter looks for the quality of leadership that comes forward. And it's not something you can define too easily. You get leadership who may be academically qualified, and and that's necessary. Favour here is well known to be an established person in the field of finance, a critical area in the economy from our best schools. But our Prime Minister...
Order. Sorry, Dr. Chang. Order.
Yeah. Leadership is something that comes out in the individual. And the current Prime Minister leadership during the critical period of COVID-19 was exceptional. Exceptional not in Jamaica, but nationally, internationally. He demonstrated a quality of leadership, consistency, a steady hand, and able to handle critical issues. And that is what the Jamaican people are looking for, because we have come out of some tough times, and it needs that to take us to the next era of a country that will be peaceful and prosperous. It needs a strong hand. And Andrew has demonstrated without any doubt or question or other. And the question of integrity, just remind the country that the leadership that developed and passed the Integrity Commission Act was Andrew Onis. The certification that's a fact of history. That's a fact of history that Andrew Michael Honis, that it's
Order.
because legislators, all laws can go to court. And he has the right to examine the work of any institution. And if he chooses to choose to do so. There's no evidence to suggest that the Prime Minister has done anything wrong or inept or illegal or corrupt. The Integrity Commission focuses heavily on what could become administrative issues. I'm not active on the legislative profile. I'm on other aspects of government. But those who have looked at the law recognize that. In fact, I've heard a very senior civil servant, because the way it is structured, put the senior civil servants at a certain disadvantage causing the country concern and should be examined, because they are afraid of their shadow. Because administrative errors can be criticized and identified in any kind of activity when you deal with public life. And that's why the Integrity Commission focuses too much on administrative issues which can be questioned. They need to put more emphasis, which I noticed they've been doing in the question I'm asking recently, on the issue of accountability and fiduciary accountability. Much of what is a question the Prime Minister was is how he has presented the issue.
Yeah.
And that's in an Integrity Commission, it raises issues that we will have to look at, and I'm not blaming anybody. We'll have to look at the legislatures. And certainly in the third term is something we look at.
All right. Here's the thing, Dr. Kemp. Hold on. Hold on. I have to let me just end. Hold on. Let me end this show right here. We're gonna start a new one and give you the chance to respond. And of course, Dr. Chan can continue. But if we were to say that we've called time on the 1-year anniversary edition, I want to thank all of those who made it possible and all of those who came. We're not done. Stay where you are. All of those who came, all of those who made it possible. And for all of those who've supported as guests over the year, really appreciate you. And I look forward to jousting with you over the next 12 months to come. Thank you very much. May I have a round of applause to end this segment, please?
I want to...
Hold on.
Celebrating one.
Me for this